Going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope all's good wherever you are. Today I got a little bit of a compilation for you all, so without further ado, let's get into it.
Question of the day is, should paternity tests be required at childbirth?
No. Who would pay for it? The government or the person out of pocket?
Insurance. Like when women get pregnant now, they have regular STD screenings, make sure your cholesterol's a red blood cell, white blood cell count. Who's to say that paternity tests shouldn't be given as well?
I mean, even if it does do it, what is it going to do?
What do you mean?
Like, how is it, will it affect the man or the woman at all?
When women get birth, you know the woman's the parent, but you're not certain that the father's the parent. And right now, 30 to 40% of men that believe that their fathers not biological fathers, because paternity tests are not mandatory at this point, which forces them to be on the hook, child support, indefinitely until they...
I think to fix all the problems we have right now, we just need more vasectomies. I'm being honest, that will solve all the problems. So
every time I order a cheeseburger, I make it a double so that a vegan out there in the world isn't actually making a difference.
Abortion? Twins?
twins.
Yeah, double homicide.
Bitch.
No, I'm sorry.
There should be mandatory DNA testing at birth.
No.
I don't know why you, okay.
Because it's calling my wife a whore to do that. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Why? Okay, so
because
women...
the assumption of first of all, mandatory, good grief, but the premise of it is that my wife is sleeping around.
Okay, so
I'm quite confident my wife is not sleeping around.
The woman feels icky for a little bit, but then...
The man feels icky. I would feel quite icky.
Wait. The woman feels icky for a little bit. Fine, maybe the man feels icky.
Certainly he would. You're calling his wife a whore and him a cuckold.
It prevents men from being put on child support and raising kids that aren't theirs.
You're saying they're
And
married.
If people want to opt out of it, fine, you can opt out.
So it's not mandatory.
But
it's voluntary. But there it is voluntary. Yes.
I think it would be better if it was mandatory. I think that's a better.
So then the men can opt out.
Oh my gosh, what are you?
Let me know in the comments section how you all feel about this conversation. Mandatory paternity test at birth. Now, the laws in the West are very much against the men, and I find there should be some other ways for men to keep themselves protected out there, but I don't know that mandatory paternity tests are the way to go, because a lot of these are circumstantial things, right? It'll be in the it depends category. My main reason for not wanting it to be mandatory is I don't want the government being involved in even more aspects of my life, the DNA of my child. But at the same time, I do agree that there should be some mechanisms in place in order to protect men a little bit more, because the amount of people out there that have been paying child support for a child that it turns out are not the biological father is insane. So let me know what you guys think. I have to flesh out this idea. I don't know what the best way to go about it is, but you guys probably will know. Let me know down below.
Most important question of the day.
Okay.
Do you know who Andrew Tate is?
Unfortunately.
Do you like him?
Why would I like him?
Why wouldn't you not like him?
He just does a lot of misogynistic things.
Like?
From what I've seen, it's just like women belong in the kitchen. And I'm not a woman belong in the kitchen type of girl.
Yeah, I could tell.
What's your age?
25.
Nationality?
Mexico.
If I wanted to take you on a first date, would Cheesecake Factory work?
Yeah. I mean, I don't see why not.
What would be an absolute deal breaker?
Nothing really. I mean, just going on a car, cruising around, that's fine with me. That's just me, honestly. Like, I don't mind. I don't need to be taken to an expensive place. Like, none of that matters to me. A real woman doesn't care about that. I look for, it's not money, it's loyalty and, you know, respect more than anything.
But so many women now in 2023 say $500 minimum.
I've always say this, there's men that are cheaters, there's men that look for specific things in women, like there's women like that as well. There's women that just are with certain men for money, for certain things, and you know, that doesn't mean that every man or every woman is the same. You just gotta find the right one.
So, how much would you want a 25-year-old man to make?
I mean, as long as he's working on himself, that's what matters.
I'm plus sizing on a plane. Of course I can't put the tray down now. I'm plus sizing on a plane. Of course I'm going to sit beside the smallest member of my family. I'm plus sizing on a plane. Of course the armrest is digging. I'm plus sizing on a plane. Of course I have to shimmy down the aisle sideways. I'm plus size and on a plane. Of course I need a seatbelt extender.
Can I show you something that'll make your day?
Just imagine if the roles were reversed and a man did that to a female cashier at a Subway or any other restaurant, the backlash that would come from it. And this is somebody who, like, I don't know for sure, but I'm going to make an educated guess, has an OnlyFans account and is doing these stunts in order to promote it. I don't know for sure, but at this point, I've watched enough of these videos and done enough of this commentary to know that these Muppets are all out there to push an OnlyFans, unfortunately.
But abortion is also a men's issue and a trans issue.
Do explain.
Abortion is a trans issue not just because trans people get abortions.
You mean the women?
But because trans rights and abortion rights boil down to the same thing, which is government control and what you and I do with our bodies.
Oh, the government. The government stinks.
As uncomfortable as it may be to hear, abortion is also a men's issue because trans men have abortion, trans masks have abortions.
Wait, what did you say?
And we need cis men who don't have the capacity for pregnancy to be fighting for abortion rights.
No thanks. I choose life.
Roe v. Wade was overturned a year ago by a Supreme Court majority that, for the most part, does not have the capacity for pregnancy.
Neither do you.
Planned Parenthood currently has a petition to expand the Supreme Court and for transparency requirements around the justices.
How about no?
Abortion rights activists have long said that people without the capacity for pregnancy,
We called them men.
like me, need to be vocal allies in this because we need to be sharing in the labor. And as long as I have this platform, I will be fervently pro-abortion.
Why do you hate babies?
Because I am pro a life-saving procedure and pro your right to your bodily autonomy.
Ironic.
What would it take for you to move one line to the disagree? You seem pretty
I will
calm.
not move on this. Absolutely not. Because this is the heart of it all. With every species of animal and plant and whatever, there's a separate name for the male and the female. Equally with humans, we have the word woman for the female of the human species. This is the word that humanizes the female instead of just talking about female, because you could talk about a female dog or a female cat or a whatever. This is the word for humans who are female. And they're trying to take that away and say, now I can have it for myself because I'm performing woman, you know, with surgeries, with hormone treatment, with the way, you don't even need that. You could do, you could use dress, makeup, mannerisms.
So you're not willing to move?
No.
Should be banned from the gym for doing this stuff. There's no need to film yourself in the gym at all. The small amount of people that would actually need to film themselves in order to get better forms, like pro power lifters, is a very small percentage. People have won the Mr. Olympia for decades upon decades without ever filming themselves once in the gym. This girl put the camera as far away from herself as possible to get everybody into frame, to try to get a gotcha moment, call the man a predator, and look, no one cared. That one dude saw the camera, he's like, what's up? He's looking at her. Nobody else looked at her. No one cared.
What is carbon dioxide?
I went to high school, but that's carbon dioxide is a gas.
Okay.
I'm not a professional to talk about carbon dioxide so much, but
Well, you want us to abolish it, right?
Carbon dioxide is what I see it as is, it's a gas that exists in our atmosphere. And
What, is it the major part of our atmosphere? Or?
It's a huge part of our atmosphere, yes.
It's actually a very small part of our atmosphere.
Well, okay. But, yeah, I don't know. What are you asking specifically?
Well, you said we need to reduce carbon dioxide emissions. I'd like to know first if you know what it is. How much will it cost for us to become carbon neutral in the United States by 2050?
I'm not a professional on that. I don't have an answer.
You don't have any idea?
No.
You just think we ought to spend the money?
I'm not an economist.
If we spent those trillions of dollars and became carbon neutral by 2050 in the United States, which you advocate, how much will it reduce world temperatures?
I don't have an answer for that.
You don't know?
No.
You just think we ought to spend the money and then see what happens?
People have equated sex with chromosome types, which is not the definition of sex because, as I mentioned, turtles have sex. They don't have different chromosomes for males and females. So it's not about chromosome type. It's about gamete type.
What's a gamete?
Sperm, egg. So, two.
And women, is it the females don't produce sperm?
Females don't produce sperm.
And is that the definition of a female?
I would say yes, that's the definition of a female.
Can a female produce sperm?
No.
I don't know who this lady is, but she is 100% on point with this. Let's get back to the video.
Get out. It's my house.
Just pay the rent to the guy.
I am going to, and you know, he doesn't understand this, you know, system here in state.
Get out, Climat! Get out, Climat!
How's the Korean community interpreting what's happening here?
They are not aware of this. They're usually landlord or hardworking business people. They would never imagine a Korean descendant taking advantage of this poor, broken system like this and embarrass not only his family, but entire community. So I was chanting, if you're not going to pay, you shouldn't stay there. And I also called them out as a con man. 사기꾼. 사기꾼 means con man in Korean. What I'm going to do is I'm going to provide high-resolution picture of them and ask all the Korean medias to post this on their newsletter and online website and actually have him get famous. Every restaurant he goes, every Korean restaurant he goes, every Korean market he goes, so everybody recognizes him. That way, he's not only just embarrassed to move out of the place, but move out of the state once and for all.
Man, imagine if all the communities, if we all took this same approach that these Koreans are taking. It's like, nah, you're not gonna make us look bad. We're gonna make your life miserable until you become a stand-up citizen. I agree with this method.
Men just do what women want. Because they care about women and they want women to be happy and they want them to love them, right? And so you can go back to, say, the Victorian era, and men used to treat women with an extreme amount of deference because the generations living then remembered a time when the world was a lot more difficult than people now remember it being. And so the physical inequality between men and women was emphasized because the world was a much more difficult place. And so men took a paternalistic and patriarchal view on how women should be treated, and women wanted men to take that. They wanted to be safe, they wanted to be provided for, they wanted to make sure their children were safe, and men did what they could. Now men have won. They've, you know, the fact we've got aeroplanes flying overhead and the fact that we're not about to be invaded is the victory of Western man. And then for some reason women decided, okay, well I'm not afraid anymore. I want what you have. You don't do the things that we do, so you can't have what we have. But men just want women to be happy. They want them to love them. They want their approval. And so if gaining women's approval means pretending women are equal to men or, you know, saying this, that, and the other, whatever it is, they'll do it. And it's completely taken men off of the throne that they sat on. And this throne was never imposed by authority, actually. It was imposed by consent. And the second women withdrew their consent for the man to be on that throne, well, the throne collapses and the men are just standing around going, okay, well, I guess I'll just play video games and drink beer all day and smoke weed. And if you don't need me, I won't do anything. Because that's really the whole raison d'etre of being a man, just to be needed by someone else. And it's always been women. And until women understand that actually they're kind of destroying men, then nothing will change, because men will never be able to stand up for themselves and their own dignity.
The younger generations, I'm always ragging on them for good reason. They deserve it. But they do. But, and they know it.
They're inheriting a real shit show.
Oh, stop it. They're inheriting the best world that it's ever been. What a bunch of bullshit.
For who?
For them.
For Wall Street?
No.
There are a lot of people who they'll never own a home. There are people who will never own a home because of the way that things are structured right now.
That is a tough one right now, but actually it's not even true. I had this woman on my show just last Friday, Jean Twenge. She's this expert. She wrote the book on generation. She's done a number of books on this. One of the big revelations that surprised me and everybody else who was hearing it is that the millennials who we've been hearing forever, tough economic times and living in their parents' basement and actually doing better comparatively by the numbers than every other generation. They're not. Now,
wow. Every millennial right now rolling over in their parents' basement as they listen to you say this.
But they're not.
They can't afford a home.
They're not.
Hoping their apartment
But they're not.
So get rent control.
But Alan, there's actual government statistics on this kind of stuff. So what you're citing is anecdotal. That's what I was doing.
That mom and dad croak right now so that they can try to get a house.
Again, we have actual information on that. We have
my
actual
God, please
information.
show
So
me that.
you can believe whichever one, because that's what religion is, just believing whatever the fuck you want.
Right,
but there is
right.
actual information.
Video. Bill Maher on his podcast, this is his own podcast, he gets owned all the time. And Reacher, that guy, Alan, what's his name, Richardson, I know I got his last name wrong, but he wasn't having it. It's like, man, you could tell me whatever you read in that book that lady wrote is not right. He gets owned on every episode of his podcast by someone. This is how you know that when he does his big network show, he's got some writers, he's got somebody in his ear probably helping him out with it. Well, that'll be it for this video, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please smash that thumbs up, consider subscribing to the channel, help it grow, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace out, everybody.